background is really cars and motorcycles. I mean, I've experienced both. The motorcycle thing really came about because I was going to race a car at Pikes Peak, and I thought that I'd have the opportunity, if I made a mistake, to jump off the bike before I went off the side.
This is Greg Tracy, 6-time champion of the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. This guy's amazing. He is a professional stuntman. Does a lot of the Hollywood movies. He's actually appeared in the Bourne movies, doing a lot of the stunt work in there. You'll notice him coming around some of those corners and he uses the foot.
Obviously, I have a smaller contact patch. The cars have 4 tires, I have 2.
Riding a Ducati that it's been specially designed for Pikes Peak, Greg Tracy.
To come here and race my motorcycle against these rally cars and Ferrari F40s and things like that's pretty cool.
Rod and I would often end up number 1 and number 2 on the start line at the Rallycross. He won the championships a couple of times over here and I won it twice as well.
I used to kick his butt, you know, when I used to race against him, and I think he was really pleased to see me move to the United States 30 odd years ago.
Well, Rod was here to win rally spins and Rallycross was real hard. When he decided he was going to go up to the States, I tell you what, we threw a big party behind him and we didn't want to invite him back again, I'm telling you. Because then we could start winning the odd events with a few of the other boys, you know.
This is a really interesting one, this one. A Volkswagen Beetle. This car has outright won hundreds of club events. The motor's a Corvair, so it looks like the little Beetle from the front. It doesn't look like the little Beetle from the back, though.
One of the hardest guys we had to compete against was a Corvair Volkswagen here. It's a Chev flat 6 engine, American engine. That Corvair had pretty well every record round at the time, and it used to annoy the hell out of us. But I couldn't work out why I couldn't beat this Volkswagen. It took both of it, Rod and myself, many years or a lot of events before we could start taking times off them.
You know, in the early days there was those special rivalries with competitors, and you know they're here as friends competing in that on the driveway.
My father had an incredible career. You know, he was and still is my idol, my hero, someone that I wanted to aspire to. And the only way you're going to do one better is to go faster. For a personal achievement, a personal goal, he was the guy that was racing Pikes Peak. He was doing this, doing that, because he was the fastest guy. It could have been someone else, but in this case, it was my dad. Dad ran it up the hill. He set a time. I wanted to go faster. We got him by 1.5 seconds on the first run.
I believe that I can keep the throttle down right through these 4 corners here. I've told Rod I can do that, but I've had 2 attempts so far and both times I've ended up spinning. Right.
Aren't you supposed to be talking to me? This is my show, buddy. It's not your show. Who do you think you are? Give me that hat. Right. What do you want to talk about?
3 runs in the RX-3.
Yeah.
I did one and I've got him by a second.
Hey!
You old boys better retire and get a lawn chair.
I love going faster than the car. I love going faster than everybody. That's sort of part of the deal, right? But yeah, there's always been, I think it's that friendly rivalry between car guys and motorcycle guys. I've been friends with the Millen family for, I don't even know how long now, decade, 15 years, something like that. Reese and I have always sort of had like a fun time at Pikes Peak with seeing who could out-qualify the other guy. You can kind of see these were actually brand new leathers last year when I showed up at the race, but that is the one problem with the motorcycles. Obviously it hurts when you crash, you don't have a cage. I remember watching Rod race Pikes Peak, maybe 2000, and Ivan Stewart was standing next to me and he told me then, he said, you know, with age you got to get a cage. And 12 years later I'm still there on the bike. I can tell you, after this last crash, I think the cage might not be a bad idea.
You know, we're not here racing for $1 million. You're there to kind of relive what the cars era was. It's fun, it's exciting, and at the end of the day, it's a great respect for each other's talents that I've been able to develop. Doesn't matter where you are, who you are, or what the conditions are. As soon as you're running for time, there's a flag dropped in front of you. These guys have got the blinders on and they're going for speed, going for time, and going as fast as they can.
All right, strap yourselves in for the ride of a lifetime here. This guy is so entertaining. It's the Super Quad in the hands of Ian Fitch. It's an absolute rocket. This will be one of the fastest times up Rodney's driveway this weekend.
Well, this was built by Rod Millen in 1953 for the Carrera Panamericana, Mexican road race. It was about a 1,000-mile sort of road race, off-road race. This was a Hot Rod Magazine project. It's been to Goodwood, it's been to Amelia Island, but events like this where you can drive it and have some fun.
This is the El Palo, or it's Spanish for horses or something similar. 1927 Ford Roadster actually, but in 1953 this car was driven 3,300 miles from California to Mexico.
Hey, it's Billy F. Gibbons with ZZ Top here at the Leadfoot Festival. We're ready to rock.
At every age gap, if it's 10 years, 20 years, you're going to relate or have a passionate connection to something that triggered a childhood memory when you were young. For me, the cars that were there were the Mark I Escorts, the Mark II Escorts. Or as a teenager getting exposed to supercars, my dream car, 1990 Ferrari F40, twin-turbo V8.
Ferrari fans, something for you now. This is the 1990 Ferrari F40 of Peter Sundberg. Enzo Ferrari actually supervised the building of this car to to celebrate 40 years of Ferrari.
Be able to have the opportunity to sit in it from the owner. Never got the opportunity to drive it, but just be that close was just amazing.
So this is the 1958 Volpini Formula Junior. It's only one of 15 cars made, a beautiful car, and that car was driven by the legendary Lorenzo Bandini.
This car was from the Volpini works in Formula Junior, and at one stage Bandini did run it in the junior class there in his early days, and it was possibly in a state of wreck and ruin, and Jeff Manning, who was a Formula One mechanic, when he came back from England, he brought this with it.
Hahe in New Zealand is an area that is phenomenal. You know, the amazing beaches that's really like going back in time. It really is the perfect slice of New Zealand to expose to the world. And that was exposed to myself when I was younger, and obviously through my connections of my father and his family going down there when he was a teenager as well.
A lot of history with the bikes. Hugh Anderson, Malcolm Anderson, Ivan Major, Ian Fitch and that amazing quad bike of his. Ken McIntosh, James McIntosh is here as well, so some very, very good motorcyclists with a lot of history. There's competitors out there like Bruce Anderson, who's on a 1930 Harley. He is 81 years old.
I've been racing this 1929 350 Harley for the last 25 years. It's pretty antiquated. It's got a hand gear change and a foot clutch, but it's a proper factory Harley racing engine with these two little stub pipes. Normally you would expect to see a Harley, a big V-twin, but this is the little 350, and it's good for 90 mile an hour or about 140 k on a straightaway, and it's quite a rare bike, even in America. It's got original type messenger racing saddle, and it runs foot clutch and hand change. Gas on.